Hello, you're watching Group Chat. I'm Neijah Lanae, and I'm here with Jordan, who is a self-care blogger, and Camila, who is a wellness practitioner. How are you guys doing today?
We're good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having
Thank
us.
you for being here. So I know both of you, and I know both of you are friends as well. Can you tell me how you guys met?
We met at, where did we meet? Did we meet at Stronger?
Yeah, it was like a talking circle.
We
Oh,
met at
yeah.
a talking circle
Yeah.
at New 2 Gallery, which is just on the other side of here.
Nice. I think I may have met you at Stronger too.
Yeah.
I think that's how we like all met.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dana.
Shout out Dana. Macio. Tell me about the objects that you guys brought in today.
Yeah.
Should we whip them out?
Yeah, whip them out.
So I brought this book. It's called Sacred Woman, and it's by a woman. Her name is Queen Afua, and it's really all about just becoming just a sacred woman and healing your feminine mind, body, and spirit. So I found this book when I was really early on in my healing journey, and it really just helped me to not only detox on a physical level, but just change the dialogue that I had in my mind around what it meant to be a woman, and just to kind of like see my womb as a place of healing and just to have more value in myself. So it's just been a really great book, and that's why I decided to bring it.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Camila?
Love that. I brought my Herbal Infusion. It's the foundation of my daily nourishment. Just get to practice with different herbs that I'm working with at the time, and getting a chance to be creative, like first thing in the morning, and tapping into my healing abilities and checking in with my body and just like listening and deepening that connection and the language and the relationship there. And sometimes I prepare them at night too, so it's like my ritual.
Nice.
So it's nourishing to me spiritually and physically.
What's in this one?
This one's a butterfly blue pea. If we had a chance to pour it out, it's like this gorgeous blue color. And I know they say blue doesn't exist naturally in nature, but
It does.
blue. It does,
Nice.
actually. Yeah. So this is an incredible plant ally for the third eye chakra, and it also is helpful for people who need healing of the heart. Emotional eating, or trying to fill some, like void that we think exists, but
I'm
doesn't
definitely an
actually.
emotional eater.
Same. So this is just a really nourishing herb all around. So it's a good foundational herb to work with, especially for women.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was the name of that one more time?
Butterfly blue pea. Yeah.
Where did you find the butterfly blue pea that you used for this?
So a lot of the herbs that I get are from Wild Love Apothecary in Topanga. I work there once a week as an herb tender.
Nice.
And my teacher actually owns the apothecary, so my herb teacher.
Yeah.
So that's where I get all of my herbs.
Nice. I feel like every time I'm meeting with you guys or hanging out with you guys or just run into you, I'm always like fascinated and picking your brains about anything that has to do with wellness and self-care, because I feel like you're such like for me, huge resources of knowledge in that.
Thank you. It's such an honor.
I just look up to the way that you both have kind of taken control over that part of your lives. How did you both in your own journeys come to this place with like deciding to learn about this and to take it seriously and to really have control over your health and self-care?
That's a big question. So for me, I mean, my father is an internal medicine doctor, and he has like an integrative practice of drawing from like Eastern and Western medicine. So I was around health and wellness from a young age. My appreciation of it at that time was very distant from where I've arrived now, but it's definitely come full circle. When I moved to LA, I got pretty sick. Like my body had a reaction to the environmental change. And so when you get sick like that and you try to utilize Western medicine or just the medical industry as it exists now, you often are disappointed, and it's a rude awakening to find that it's not actually there really to support you or heal you, but rather to generate profit. So it definitely brings you to a point where you're like, well, I have to sort this out myself then. And so as a woman especially, like, understanding holistic approaches to wellness is essential, because we move we move through the world in a very emotional way, and a very empathic way. So understanding how your lifestyle and your emotions contribute to your health, they're actually, to me, what dictates your physical health and well-being. It's empowering.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful to like learn the language of your body, like I spoke of, and the language of your heart from an emotional perspective. So to me, it's been like a profound and expansive journey to be able to like feel my body and be like, oh, this thing is happening. What's happening in my life right now? Just being able to check in and understand what's happening, and then having tools to treat it or nourish myself or nurture myself in the way that my body is asking for. Because I think really ultimately, like, that is what your body is asking for when you're sick or you're not feeling well, or, you know, like autoimmunity is a big thing too, because of, you know, our environment and in the industrialized world that we live in. It's just constant stimuli, and so you have to find ways to restore and recharge, otherwise your body is like, it's not gonna work for you.
Right.
Yeah. So that's been everything for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
For those who are unsure, including me, what is autoimmunity?
I think you should answer that question. Yeah, because I could answer it, but you've had a very direct experience with it, so I'm going to pass that on to Jordan.
Oh yeah, well, autoimmune disease is basically when your immune system, which is designed to kind of protect you and help you ward off like harmful diseases, it's when it starts to attack your body, because your body is just like so out of whack. It hasn't been in homeostasis. So, you know, when your body just doesn't have time to rest and restore and go into that mode, it can develop and manifest in various different ways. So autoimmune diseases include things like lupus, Crohn's disease, celiac disease. These are all different names.
Lyme disease.
Common
diagnosis.
Yeah, all these different names that we give, you know, which is pretty much just inflammation in a various part of the body, which is driven by your immune system thinking that natural parts of your body are like foreign invaders. So I guess I can start talking about my healing journey. I wanted to be a doctor, always wanted to help people, went to UCLA, studied psychobiology, wanted to go to medical school, you know, would spend like my weekends going out to barbershops, taking people's blood pressure, you know, really just trying to get other people to be healthy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting up here eating pizza, cheeseburgers, you know, I'm drinking and like, you know, doing all these things that are not necessarily healthy, because I didn't realize how much of a lifestyle component that there was to it. And I was definitely looking outside of myself. You know, I had acne, so I was on birth control to kind of manage that. And my lifestyle was just very stressful, very go, you know, not really listening to the natural cycles and rhythms of like rest and rejuvenation. I was just very much in that go mode. And ended up in the hospital like 25 years old in like the cardiac intensive care unit because I had like inflammation that spread to my heart.
Wow.
And, you know, got an unofficial lupus diagnosis. And the prognosis was that I would have to be like on a mild steroid for indefinitely to kind of like manage the inflammation. Lord. Ended up gaining like 40 pounds because I couldn't really exercise and do all these things, and just became really not only depressed, but just feeling like powerless and then also very lost, because getting that close to the medical system, I realized, like, I don't even want to do this. I don't even want to be here. This is not making people healthier. It's just managing symptoms. There's something deeper here.
Yeah.
And so, similar to Camila, you just go on your own healing journey of trying to understand what's happening to your body. And I realized stress was a huge trigger for me. Really not really knowing how to manage my emotions and eating to try to fill that void. Lots of, you know, just repressed trauma and things that I kind of had to go and like learn the tools to be able to sit with those things and just process it and let it go. And then also coming up with like a self-care ritual that I could follow on a daily basis that would give me that opportunity to pour into myself and to rest.
Yeah.
Because that's really a lot of what it is just teaching your body what safety feels like and showing you like how to feel good. You know, especially if you've been in a place where you've just been in survival mode for so long.
Yeah, on that note, I think the restoration process is so vital and often very overlooked in our culture, because the team no sleep is like rampant and it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, I think in a capitalist economy, our self-worth is dictated by our level of productivity, which is detrimental to our spiritual, emotional, and physical health. And so I think that we're hardwired to really disengage from those cycles and those rhythms. And that's ultimately what does lead to the lack of wellness, you know?
And then companies pick up on that and they try to like sell you things that.
And that's the point, right? That's the point.
But it's like, no, you just really need to lie down and let your body do what it's naturally designed to do. Which
And
is
giving
like,
yourself permission to do it, which is like a whole other psychological thing. And I mean, being as far along in my journey as I am, I often still felt very guilty for doing nothing.
Right.
And I'm, you know, as I'm trying to relax, I'm running through my head of like, do I need to be doing this? Or like, you know, going through the checklist.
Wear on you and you're not even resting because you're in your head like, I know I'm there.
It's like your body because like when you're stressed out, when you're in survival mode, your body's releasing over like 1,400 chemicals that go into your bloodstream that your body becomes addicted to.
Adrenaline, cortisol, like
all those things. And you start to become addicted to that feeling. So even when you say you want to rest, like you're addicted to feeling stressed out. So you start looking for things in your environment that can give you that emotional hit.
Wow.
So it's like you have to deprogram yourself from being addicted to the hormones and chemicals of stress.
Wow.
The good news
with all this, like let me take that in.
The good news is that there are so many tools that we can utilize that really can bring us back into balance, right? And can nurture us through the reprogramming process. So I think it's extremely important to like acknowledge all the things we just addressed, albeit fairly unpleasant. But you know, not to be overlooked the fact that like there is an abundance.
What are the first tools that come to mind in terms of this?
Oh man. For me, it's always herbs. Working with plants. I just had my last class yesterday, actually, and I graduate next month. Thank you. But working with herbs for me has been profound. I've completely stopped taking like all of my vitamin supplements, and I just use herbs.
What is the benefit of using herbs as opposed to vitamins?
So when you're using like fresh plant material or minimally processed plant material, you're getting more active properties from the plants that are bioavailable for you. When you're taking supplements, a lot of the time when you ground down the plant material, it oxidizes, and so it becomes like devoid of really effective nutrients. I'm not saying that vitamins don't work, because I used to be like a total supplement junkie. I still take like digestive enzymes and stuff, but I just find that my body assimilates the nutrients better than with supplements. And it's also like a meditative ritual to prepare my herbs.
Nice.
You know, whether I'm tincturing it, making teas, elixirs, tonics, like whatever. It's just a really beautiful. The process of making medicine is deep for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can attest to the healing powers of herbs. When I was trying to rebalance my hormones, I definitely relied on like herbal tea.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know you blogged about rebalancing your hormones after birth control, right? How did you learn how to rebalance your hormones after that?
I think reading the Sacred Woman book, she gives like a whole list of herbs that are really designed to help your flow and to help bring your body back into a state of balance. So I think it was like red raspberry leaf, damiana,
Black cohosh. That was
black
a big one for
cohosh,
you.
black cohosh. So yeah, just like reading the book and learning how to prepare the herbs, that was really helpful. And then also meditation has been really helpful, just to be able to observe what my stories are and the things that I tell myself about, you know, what I need to be doing or what I have to do in order to feel worthy and deserving of my own love.
Yeah.
So that's been really helpful in terms of getting past my own internal blocks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Meditating with plants is like a whole other thing too.
Yeah.
If we're talking about self-reflection,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful, like, expansive process. I think, like, with herbs too, it, like, meditation is essential, and I think a lot of people feel like, oh, like, I don't know how to meditate, and it's just like, just be still. Like, that's kind of the point, right? But when you work with different plants too that have like a descending energy that kind of grounds you, then you can really enter that portal of like self-reflection, and a lot more comes up, and you have a lot more to work with in terms of like how you want to start sorting through it all.
I never knew why it felt so great to meditate in nature, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, there's also just like everything in nature, like that. Like, meditating in nature is like essential. If you can't get out to nature, then like consuming the herbs from nature is like, I find like a great way to do it without, you know, because I think for us that live in the city, like, you can't always, it's like,
Definitely.
it's hard to get out in nature all the time, but that's definitely a big one. I'm glad you brought that up.
I know we're running out of time. One last question that I really want to ask you both is about food. Because I'm on my own journey trying to figure out like what works with my body too, and like what I actually need and should be eating. And I know we talked about herbs a lot, but how do you approach, especially with you being a private chef and helping other people with their journey in food, how do you, I guess, learn what you need in terms of food and what you should, I guess, gravitate to on a more regular basis?
I mean, that's a complex question, but I think ultimately, like, becoming aware, just becoming mindful of when you're eating and what you're eating, and how you feel after you're eating it. But making a conscious effort to have that check-in, right? It's like, I know the things that I avoid that are upsetting to my system, or I know the things that make me thrive, but I went through that process by trial and error. You know, it's like, if I eat too much cheese, I'm going to be ill. And so when I check in with how I feel after, it's like I feel sluggish. I don't have like mental clarity that I would prefer to like move throughout my day. Whereas if I eat something, like start my day with like really nice fruit and like a nettle tea, like you notice the clarity. It's almost like this like lifting of veils, if you will. So I think that I can't say, you know, there's one regimen to like crack the code for any, you know, any given person, but that it's the deepening of relationship with your body and self, and just making that conscious effort to check in to see like how you're feeling after you eat, and why you're eating. Because I know, and I start checking in, like I notice that if I'm feeling anxious or I'm feeling stressed, I'm going for sugar, I'm going for carbs, I'm going for chicken tendies, you know, like that's what I'm going for. But if I'm trying to eat to nourish, those typically aren't things I crave.
Right. What about you, Jordan?
Oh yeah, I think that just cutting out inflammatory foods, at least for like a short period of time, especially when you're dealing with autoimmune, the foods that you eat can definitely trigger any kind of response. So cutting out things like tomatoes, lots of starches, processed foods, sugars, gluten, just to give my body a time to kind of like reset, restore my microbiome, because that's really how you digest food, is based on the bacteria that are in your stomach.
And your liver and your metabolic function, which I think is often overlooked as well, just as an equally important component as like the microbiome and the gut to brain connection.
Yeah. So just like reducing my intake of inflammatory foods for a period of time, and then slowly starting to reintroduce the things back into my diet, and similar to what Camila was saying, just like notice how I feel.
The elimination. I'm really happy you said that. 'Cause the elimination of like the primary inflammatory foods are gluten, dairy, sugar, soy. What's the other one? Sometimes nightshades for some people.
Nightshades,
which is things like peppers and tomatoes.
That's a problem. Even like rice too, because the lectins that are in it.
Sometimes grains can be inflammatory for people.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. I feel like I learned so much. I could talk to you guys for hours about this stuff, but I won't do that to you. I won't torture you for that.
I could talk.
But thank you everyone for watching. Again, we're here with Camila and Jordan, and you're watching Group Chat.
Bye guys.
Bye.